Shops vandalized, cars torched, stones pelted. Anti-Sterlite protest in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu, leaving 11 dead and scores injured. Nearly 20,000 villagers and activists demanding the closure of Sterlite's copper plant, claiming environmental dangers and health hazards from the plant. As protests entered their 100th day, the Tuticorin protest took a deadly turn. The police is now blamed for using excessive force. They opened fire at protesters.
The Chief Minister's statement only blamed the protesters, claiming that they indulged in arson and that's the reason police had to resort to firing. But the governor has come forward and said that 11 people have died and he feels extremely sorry for them. That way he has brought it forward. The Tamil Nadu government, as you mentioned, has also announced a solution, 10 lakh to those who have, to the family who have lost their loved ones, and 3 lakh to the people who have been injured.
Their fight against the copper plant was more than 2 decades long. Activists allege the Sterlite plant has violated several environmental norms. In 2013, the Supreme Court even slammed the plant for operating without requisite permits.
Already in 2013, Sir Operator given clearly that in any way Sterlite should not be here in Tamil Nadu. So that case has been pending in the Supreme Court. Our Additional Advocate General on 4th May strongly objected that we never allow Sterlite in Tamil Nadu. So we are very clear.
Mirror now asks, why did the police open fire on its own citizens? Was the police shooting to kill the anti-Sterlite protesters? Let's debate.
You're watching the Urban Debate in Mirror now, Faye. And there's a reason why on a national channel today we have to look to the city of Tuticorin, or Thoothukudi as it's called in Tamil Nadu. This is not a local story. This is a story about how a big, large conglomerate, a company with a lot of clout, has managed to keep this plant running for so long despite so many allegations and so many complaints from the locals. This is a story, viewers, we should hear, because this could be tomorrow a story about us. For our brothers and sisters in Tuticorin who have been fighting this fight, not today, not for the last 100 days, but since 1994, when this plant was set up. This plant was set up to smelt copper. It was soon discovered, and there were soon allegations of the fact that the copper, the aluminum, the lead, and a lot of other arsenic and poisonous things were going into the groundwater. They were going into the drinking water. They were going into the bay. There have been several complaints between 1994 and today of gas leaks that have caused several people to be very, very sick, including employees of the government of Tamil Nadu themselves, employees of the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board who were working close by, employees of All India Radio who were working close by, have gotten sick. Courts have ordered closure of this plant, but somehow it has always managed to overcome these challenges. 100 days ago, reacting to an announcement that the plant will now double in capacity and expand, the people of Tuticorin decided enough was enough. That a fight that had carried on from 1994 should now end. They came out into the streets and demanded justice. For 100 days, these people have been protesting. 100 days. And I want to start the show today by offering my personal apology to the people of Tuticorin that we did not pick up your story 100 days ago. And for that, I am truly sorry. Today, the officers of the Tamil Nadu police opened fire on these citizens, killing not 1 or 2, but 11 people, 11 citizens, and injuring over 60. The question we have to ask is this: whatever their reason for protest, what right did the police have to shoot to kill? Eyewitnesses say, and obviously the dead body visuals tell us, that these people were not shot below the waist. The police were not firing in the air. They were shot in the chest, and some in the face. Is that really how the police should do crowd control when the people they're controlling are citizens who've been protesting for 100 days? Could a 100-day protest have actually caught the police of Tamil Nadu by surprise? These are the questions we're asking today on the Urban Debate. Joining me today is Viroba Bhupati, the spokesperson of the PMK, Sarvanan Anadurai, spokesperson of the DMK, C.R. Saraswati, spokesperson of the TTV Dinakaran faction, Muralidharan of the who normally comes in as a political analyst and is a supporter of the AIDMK. Henry is an advocate and an executive director of People's Watch who's fought this fight for so long. Vimalendu Jha is an environmentalist, and Dhanraj Vajari, former Assistant Commissioner of Police, brings in the police point of view of how the police should have handled this situation and whether or not they did the right thing. I'm going to first ask this question of Henry, who joins us right now on Skype. Henry, how many people were protesting? I understand you were at the protest yourself. Did the police issue warnings? Did they fire in the air? How did 11 people die?
Well, the character of the Tamil Nadu police forced me as an organization and as a lawyer to give an intimation to the Superintendent of Police, Tuticorin District yesterday with a copy to the National and State Human Rights Commission that we were going to monitor the actions of the police during the protest. So I was not there as a protester, I was there as a monitor with a team of monitors. We were there in ground zero and we saw that this was a protest where the police had complete failure of intelligence, where they had not gauged the anger of the masses. The people were being lathi charged as they were coming to the protest area, which was the collectorate, but they were, in spite of the lathi charges, people were proceeding in front. And it was not in hundreds, it was in thousands. And they proceeded and proceeded till they became a few lakhs. Our cameras were also in the collectorate. They managed to enter the collectorate. And once they entered the collectorate, you found that on the way, there were several people in vehicles, police vehicles, who were not in police uniform, who were in colored mufti, who were shooting at the crowd indiscriminately from the top of police vehicles. I've never seen this. There were no announcements made anywhere on the speakers that police were ordering a lathi charge. Tear gas was spread in different places, and then the firing started in the police, by the police inside the collectorate. It was thereafter we saw the crowd move in to the next building which they had crossed earlier peacefully, which was the staff quarters of the Sterlite, where they entered into a side gate, burnt all the vehicles there and set fire to them. And I think there could have also been casualties due to that fire. I really feel sorry for all the families who have lost their beloved ones.
Mr. Dhanraj Vajari, does this sound at all like a police who was just trying to do crowd control, or does it sound like more than that to you?
It sounds like a complete failure on the part of police machinery to maintain law and order. What happened, police being a very apparent face of a state of governance, entire wrath, anger of people is going to get diverted towards police. In such situation, I am unable to understand, since the agitations are going on for 100 days, how come police could not assume this kind of situation? Why they failed to collect advanced intelligence so that the situation has blown up out of proportion and out of their limits of control, and therefore they have to resort like firing and lathi charge in such a gruesome manner that 11 people have been killed. One point was the earlier speaker was talking, which is very dangerous I find in this. The police were in mufti, they were in civil clothes, and they were having their firearms, maybe official firearms, but they were firing from this. I don't think this criteria is acceptable in any frame of law or in any frame of standard operating procedure. Of course, police has standard operating procedure to handle such kind of situation, but the situation is never standard. Police people must understand. And if they wanted to estimate the situation, they should have gone for collecting advanced intelligence, why these 100 days has been taken and no solution has come out. What is happening day to day report they must have collected, but it seems there is a gross failure on the part of police, and when something happens like that and large number of vehicles or the property, public property is damaged, so under constraint, under inevitable situation, they have to resolve such thing which is totally condemnable and not
Mr.
correct.
Manjari, if the police had obviously at this point sat on top of a police van and opened fire on the people, and it is obvious from the visuals that we're looking at that the protesters were being evacuated on the back of two-wheelers and being carried out by other protesters. There are no ambulances in sight. Is it the police's responsibility to also keep ambulances on standby because they know they're going to fire at this crowd?
Of course, it is a responsibility of police. Otherwise, who is supposed to provide an ambulance and medical aid for the injured? It is the bounden duty of police to do it. But since I see some pictures, the police are standing on the roof of the vehicles and they are firing from there. So definitely they are going to fire on the above chest and on the face and on the head also. I was told some injuries are there, which is not acceptable, and there should be a judicial concrete inquiry conducted against this police action, and the people who are responsible in the system should be held to the noose of the law.
Let me bring in the other members right now of the opposition as well. But first, Mr. Muralidharan, do you believe that the government of Tamil Nadu, led by the AIDMK, has completely lost its grip on this situation right now?
First of all, my condolence to the people who lost their lives in this incident, Faye. But this was an incident which was waiting to happen. I don't know whether you listened to me earlier. Many times I said Tamil Nadu in the brink of, in the verge of becoming another West Bengal or a Kerala. People were trying very hard. Even on the 20th, that was 2 days back, they tried the same gimmick on Marina, which they failed. So they found another ground to carry out their orders. Okay. Now, unfortunately, if you see, I mean, whatever being shown on TV and whatever the report which has come from the Chief Minister's office is a complete contradiction. What has happened on the ground is, if you go and see, they have attacked the collector's office with stones. The stone pelting, even right now you see it on the screen, there are stone pelting happening. Okay, now when do they start shooting? When do they start? First of all, they will resort to warning people. Then they would start with lathi charge. If it's a small crowd, you can do all that. This is a crowd of thousands plus people. And they had already laid down 144. 144 means any number more than 4 will be countered with. But they didn't wait. They even used tear gas. The crowd barged and they pulled down all those vehicles.
Is it not true, Mr. Muralidharan, that this protest has been taking place for the last 100 days?
No, wait, Faye, let me finish.
Hello.
Last 100 days, what is the status of the factory today, Faye? The factory is shut. The factory is not operational. So what is the need for this protest, Faye? The factory is shut by TNPCB, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, has shut the factory
When
down.
did Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board shut this factory?
And where did the protest?
When did they shut this factory? Like, since you want to talk about these specifics.
It's almost a month.
It's almost a month.
It's
all right.
more than a month or
so
two
now answer these questions for me.
It's more than a month or two.
Fair
All
enough.
the
Answer these
expenses have been
questions for me, Mr. Muralidharan.
Yes.
Is it not true that this factory that was opened in 1994, when the AIDMK was in power, the Pollution Control Board
Yes.
gave them a no objection certificate without doing an environment impact assessment? 1995, when AIDMK was in power, the Ministry of Environment of the state gave them a clearance without doing an environment assessment. When the AIDMK was in power, this factory was set up without meeting the conditions of a setback of 25 kilometers, which means you have to be 25 kilometers away from the Gulf of Munnar. But that was violated as well, and you did nothing. Is that not true? Again, when the AIDMK was in power in 2001,
2010.
the tanks, the water tanks were
Let's move forward,
polluted.
Faye. 2010.
Why? Let me go on piece by
2010.
piece. 1 second, 1 second. I'm talking about when your
2010,
government was in power.
Madras High Court.
2004, the
Faye.
environment gave a clearance in 1 day. Ministry of Environment gave a clearance in 1 day after the Supreme Court asked questions. 1 day. Ministry of Environment directed the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board to give them a license to expand in 2005 when your government was in power. Now you're telling me you shut the plant? After giving them license to double the capacity? The air is polluted, the water is polluted.
No,
what is the point now?
No, Faye.
Come in, please.
No. Come back. 2009, who was in power? Who renewed the license for the plant? That was DMK. One. Second, 2010, it was shut down by Madras High Court. 2013, they went to Supreme Court and got it revoked. Then they came back. Again, it was shut down by Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. Again, it was revoked by National Green Tribunal. It was revoked. So they started operations again. So are you going to blame Supreme Court? Are you not going to blame Supreme Court and National Green Tribunal for allowing them to operate?
I'm going to blame the government of Tamil
Why are you pointing fingers only at ADMK, who is in power now?
All right.
Yeah.
Mr.
So
Sarvana
DMK is
Annadurai
party
of
to
the
this, 2009.
DMK.
They
Go on.
renewed their license.
Who do you want to blame? Sarvana?
One more point.
Yes, go on,
Faye.
go on.
Mr. P. Chidambaram was a director at Vedanta. Mr. P. Chidambaram was a director at Vedanta, which was Sterlite. That also I should remind you.
Okay. Sarvana Annadurai, go ahead.
Yeah, Faye, what has happened is unbelievable. This massacre of the innocents has never ever happened in the history of Tamil Nadu, and this is again a cold-blooded murder. To protect this company. There is nothing more to the agenda.
You finding it shocking, Sarvana? Are you find this shocking? Sarvana, do you find this shocking?
Yes, it is very
shocking. Okay, I'll tell you what is
Very
shocking.
shocking.
One second.
Shocking.
Let me tell you what is shocking,
Unbelievable
Sarvana.
that
Unbelievable.
This has happened
Because
in
they're
the state of
protecting the
Tamil Nadu.
company. All right, let me tell you what is shocking and unbelievable. In 1997, when your party, the DMK, was in power in Tamil Nadu, and the staff of the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board were coughing and choking because of a gas leak from this particular plant, what did you do? Nothing. That's what you did. In 1998, when your government was in power, the Madras High Court found that there was no green belt maintenance, that the groundwater was actually contaminated with copper, aluminum, lead and arsenic. And they had violated the setback. What did your government do? Nothing. In 1999, when All India Radio employees got sick because of a gas leak, what did you do? Nothing. In 1999, when Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board gave permission to double production, you were in charge. What did you do? Nothing. In 2008, you gave further permission to expand from 900 tons a day to 1,200 tons a day. What did you do? Nothing. Now this is shocking you. You're finding this shocking now. Are you telling me that you have not been party this entire time in allowing this company to build this particular plant to this point?
No.
Defend yourself. Come on, defend yourself and put yourself in a position where you can call this shocking today.
Yes. It's see, yes, Faye, we are discussing about the killing, cold-blooded murder of Tamilians, of the citizens. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has stated that this is a state-sponsored terrorism.
Please don't give it a political spin. Answer the questions I asked you. How convenient. How convenient that you made him, you stayed with the corruption when you were in power, and now you're in opposition. So now you're saying it's shocking.
Faye, that is the problem. The problem is, Faye, the problem here is the killing of the people, the killing of the murder.
Who instigated it? Who instigated it?
The murder in Kaki, the murder by the Kaki people.
Who's behind all that, Faye? Who's behind all that?
Stop it. I never interfered.
Yes.
Please
Go
shut
ahead.
up.
Go ahead.
Shut up now. What had happened is
You're
this.
blaming our government.
What
I
had
have to
happened
talk.
is this has never happened, and what has happened, if you look at one thing, they have clearly targeted the people who were spearheading the movement. They were targeted and they were shot dead. This is not a response to the violence by the mob. All the leaders who were protesters were targeted and killed. This is pre-planned murder by the Tamil Nadu police.
Sarvanan
This is
Annadurai,
criminal
aren't you
collusion
taking
by
advantage
the
of the
top
situation
cops,
for
Mr. DGP,
political
Mr.
mileage?
Rajendran.
Do you?
Our leader,
Okay, all
Mr.
right.
M.K. Stalin, has demanded the resignation, the sacking of Mr. T.K.
All
Rajendran.
right, now you're going to have to listen to me, Mr. Sarvanan.
Any of these facts, what I have stated, will
Can
be
you hear me?
disputed?
Can you hear me? Will you agree that this plant has been polluting the water and
Yes.
the air of Tuticorin for the last 2 decades? Yes or no?
Faye, that may be right. that may be right.
Yes or no?
But
Don't tell
the
me that
issue
may be
here
right.
is
You ran
why
government in this
11
state
people
for nearly
were
a
shot
decade.
dead like animals.
No.
How
Did
11
this
people were
plant
killed
pollute?
like dogs
Didn't this
on the
plant
street?
poison the water of Tuticorin
they
for
shut it
nearly
down,
2
Faye?
decades? Did you allow them to put poison
Yes,
in the
fine.
water
Yes,
of the
fine.
people of
Yes.
Tuticorin for
But
nearly
there is-
2 decades?
There is a
Yes or
process.
no?
There is a process. Right now,
And you broke the
right
rules,
now,
didn't you?
We demand that this Sterlite project, right now we demand that the Sterlite project be scrapped.
Why? Because
That
they
is
can
our
no longer
demand.
pay because there's
We
an
want
election
that
coming
to
up.
be
Is that why
shut down
you are
right now.
demanding?
Right now,
Exactly.
because no, it's not because of elections.
Exactly.
It
No,
is
then
not
why?
because of elections. There are no
Exactly.
elections in Tamil Nadu. For your
Rabi,
kind
let-
information, there are no elections for the state of Tamil Nadu. And
CR sir. Oh, there are no
though
elections for the
whoever
state of Tamil
is
Nadu. So
involved
in
this
2019,
killing,
you're not
because
going
they
to be
want
people of
protect
Tamil
the
Nadu are not
company,
voting for the
will be
central
brought
government.
before book.
Huh?
And they throw money, blood money on the people.
Wait.
Exactly.
They throw
So
blood
in
money.
This is the
2019,
reason all
your
this
people
being
are not
done,
going to be
Faye.
voting for the
It is-
central
it's all
government in the
aimed
state
at
of Tamil Nadu.
2019.
What are you talking about?
These are done for 2019, nothing else.
Ask him to shut up. Ask him
Whether
to
it's
shut up.
IPL
You
or
really
let
should
them-
be better
let
behaved
them
for
do
someone
all
who
for
hopes
that.
to lead people.
2019, they want to convert it like West Bengal.
Ask him.
CR Saraswati, spokesperson of the TTV Dinakaran faction, who used to be with the AIADMK. CR Saraswati, what is happening in Tuticorin? Whose responsibility is this?
Today's incident shows the cruelty and the failure of this OPS-EPS government. As what you said, 94 it started when Honorable Amma was the Chief Minister, right? They accepted. After a few years, and Amma came to know there's a lot of problems, water problem, and the people started getting diseases. In 2013, when the Sterlite want to extend themselves, Amma ordered the Pollution Control Board not to give them a permission. Then the Sterlite went to the court. Now what I'm asking this present government is, last 99 days, it was quiet and calm in Tuticorin. What the government has to do? They said today they're going to have a protest. The government duty, unfortunately, we have 2 chief ministers in Tamil Nadu, a chief minister and a deputy chief minister. When they can go to Delhi for themselves, why not to Tuticorin for people? If they want anything, they're flying to Delhi immediately, OPS and EPS. Not even the local minister, Mr. Kadambur Raju, also went and met those people. They must have met the people there. They must have spoke to them. Even the collector and the officials, etc., must gone to them. None of these people, none of the government officials or government ministers went to Tuticorin to meet the people. This protest was quiet. Actually, they never started. People never started the violence at all. You can see the pictures. They can keep an inquiry commission. Then the truth will come out. Who started? I'm asking one thing. Who gave permission to police to fire on people? Police has the permission to fire on the sky, not on the people. And without the knowledge of Chief Minister, the police is controlled by Chief Minister. Without the permission of the Chief Minister, do you think police can just like that fire the people? So many lost their life, so many injured. Who gave them permission? What I'm asking, this is a high time. This is so many years they are fighting. This is a high time. We have come to the climax. Now what state government's duty is, talk with the central government. You are very friendly with the central government. State and central government both together close it. That's all. Why they are not doing? Not even a single word from Chief Minister or Deputy Chief Minister promising the people that they will close this. They never opened them out at all. If Mr. Jayakumar speaks, is that enough? Mr. Jayakumar is not a Chief Minister. Mr. OPS is a Deputy Chief Minister and EPS is a Chief Minister. What statement they gave?
Talking about, but
What
the factory
statement
is
they
shut.
gave?
I should remind them the
What
factory is
promise
shut.
they gave?
It is not operational.
Why can't they go and meet the people?
It is not operational.
Why
The
can't they
factory
go and
is not operational.
But people,
Tamil Nadu
people,
Pollution Control
people
Board
don't
has
want to
stopped
believe
it.
you.
What are you
People
talking?
doesn't want to believe you. People
You are
doesn't want to
illusion,
believe
madam.
state
You are
and
totally
central government.
information.
They are not
The
happy with
factory is
BJP
shut.
government. They are not happy with OPS
Tamil Nadu
government.
Pollution
Saraswati,
Control Board
They
has
don't want to
shut
believe
the
your words.
factory.
Miss Saraswati,
You
you
must
were
have-
with the AIADMK
You must have made the people
until last
Do you
year.
let the people understand?
Miss Saraswati, you were with the AIADMK until last year. Please explain to me that
Yeah.
in 1994, 1995,
Definitely.
why did your
And not
government
only
give
that,
them power?
we only
Why
formed
did your
this
government
government.
give them permission to open the plant? And then
Ma'am.
after that, one second, let me finish
Ma'am,
asking the
ma'am,
question.
ma'am,
In 2001, 2004,
Definitely,
you gave them
definitely.
permission to expand. When they polluted the water allegedly in Silvapuram, in Meelavitam, in Kalutaikuram, you did not do anything. You were in power at that time. Why didn't you do anything at that time? Why did the Ministry of Environment of the AIADMK government in 2004 give a clearance in one day? Tell me.
one thing I'm telling you, till Amma was alive, I am in AIDMK. Unfortunately, we've only formed this government. But what I'm asking is, when Honorable late Chief Minister Amma came to know all this problem, she doesn't give a permission to extend it. These people went to the court. When? Sterlite went to, what, 2013. Mr. Vinoba Khan asked when? 2013, Amma stopped giving permission through the Pollution Control Board. Sterlite went to the court. They went up to Supreme Court. Not only state government, state and central government both have to do this. What I'm asking, the only question I'm asking now is, all these 100 days, what this state government gave assurance to the people? To believe that, to see that people are believing them. None of them went there. None of the ministers went there. None of them took care to go and talk to them.
Good.
Why can't they go?
Henry, did anyone from the state government
you are telling that people don't want to believe it.
One second. Let
People
Henry answer
don't
this
want to
question.
believe it.
Did anyone from the state government
People
approach the
don't want to
protesters
believe it.
and start a conversation, Henry?
Yeah.
Not
I
even a single
just want to
person.
clarify a
Not
point.
at all.
1 second. Let him answer,
From the
please.
AIDMK's spokesperson there. The factory is not shut. There are workers entering every day into the factory. The factory has gone to the High Court saying that the workers have to come into the factory and go out. This is their plaint before the vacation bench of the Madras High Court. The second plant, the copper smelter plant number 2 is under construction. Is the ADMK people, are they blind? The construction is going on. I have myself argued 3 days ago before the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court that construction has to be stayed and that order is reserved for tomorrow morning at 10:30. The second smelter plant construction is going on. My dear ADMK government, you don't have eyes to see? Yes, the first plant is supposed to be closed down, but people, factory people are entering and leaving the factory. Therefore, the people are protesting. On the 24th
Bhupati
March,
of the
2 lakh
PMK.
people protested peacefully.
Yes.
Why is there violence this time? This is total failure of the police intelligence agencies
can I come in?
understanding the
Faye,
anger
can I
of the
come in?
people.
Viruba
Can I
Bhupati,
come in?
spokesperson of the PMK, hasn't spoken yet. Mr. Bhupati, go ahead. And Mr. Bhupati, go ahead. And then I bring in Vimlendu Jha. Mr. Bhupati. Yes. One at a time, please. One at a time. Mr. Bhupati, go ahead, please.
My deepest condolence to all the 11 people who have died and to their families, and many of them are critically wounded. Please stop, Mr. Muralidharan.
No, that's not Mr. Muralidharan. One second. Henry, 1 second. Go ahead, Mr. Bhupati, please.
Hello?
I'll tell you, what happened today was unacceptable. It is irresponsible on the part of the state government. It is brutal. It is dastardly. It is very, 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 very cowardly act by the police of Tamil Nadu. I'm not blaming the police who shot. I'm blaming the high command. What did the DGP do? What did the chief minister do? Without their permission, the local police would not have shooted. The Supreme Court direction is very clear. You have to initially do the standard operating procedure. You have to shoot at the sky and then below the knees. And these cowardly police officers killed 11 lives today. The cowardly slave government in Tamil Nadu did not have the courage to face the people for the 99 days. For past 99 days, this cowardly slave Tamil Nadu government, they are the slaves. I repeat it, they are the slaves of union government. They doesn't have the courage to talk to the people. Today, 11 people lost their life and hundreds of youngsters have lost their life and live in Thoothukudi. For 99 days, they were protesting peacefully. How did it turn violent? Because of the state government. Because of the stupid police officers in Thoothukudi. The SP of the Thoothukudi district should be taken to books. The district collector should be taken to the books. They should not be left to they should not be allowed to go free. I'll tell you one more thing. The Dravidian parties, for the past 20 years, with respect to Sterlite industries, they turned blind eye to the pollution because it is in the fragile zone of Gulf of Mannar. Everybody knows this. For the past 20-25 years, people from the Tuticorin, various political parties fought in the court, only through the court. And I'll tell you one important thing. The Supreme Court in 2013 asked the Sterlite industry closed because of the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board did not give clearance from 2007 to 2012. This is the same government, shameless government, spineless government, can't able to take the corporate Anil Agarwal's Vedanta groups. Instead, they are killing the innocent Tamil peoples here. They should be brought to books. They should be sent out of Tamil Nadu.
But I want to bring in one minute. Vimalendu Jha is an environmentalist. Vimalendu, unfortunately, the fights in the courts take so long that people resort to coming out onto the streets. Do you agree that the government of Tamil Nadu mishandled this situation?
Absolutely. So, Faye, there are two things that we're discussing here. We're discussing police action, and at the same time, we're also discussing civic action in that sense, citizen action in many, many ways. And I think the answer to both is in deep-rooted understanding of how our regulators are operating in our country. So there is crony regulators, we're talking about compromised judiciary, and we're talking about corrupt corporations. And that's the reason why, after 20 years, we have actually arrived at a place when citizens were protesting for almost 20 years. If you look at the same plant, by the way, was actually proposed to be in Maharashtra, in Ratnagiri. The citizens there protested. The DC said, fine, it actually violates all the coastal regulation zones and sensitivity of a coastal ecosystem. And within a month or a couple of months, actually, Tamil Nadu said, oh, well, Maharashtra, you don't want it. We will have it. They built the entire plant. They did not follow the rules, and they built the plant. I think the fault is that Supreme Court, I don't want, as in it's okay if there's contempt of any kind, but the fault of today's killing and the fault of this today of pollution that we're talking about lies solely on our judiciary and our governance. Because judiciary said that, oh, well, in the larger national interest, it's important to have copper in our country, and therefore, despite the fact, proven, by the way, by government's own mechanism, government's own institutions, be it the Supreme Court Monitoring Committee clearly found out that there was contamination of water, the air monitors were tampered with, the 25-kilometer buffer that they had to leave from Gulf of Munnar, that was in practice. The entire plant is only 14 kilometers from Gulf of Munnar. No green belt that was established. Supreme Court Monitoring Committee found this and told Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board to take strict action. But because of some clout, and we do not know what clout, and the greater common good of national interest, Supreme Court said it's okay, we need to guard the employability and employment of a couple of thousand people who are working in this plant, and it's okay that people who are dying out of pollution. So it's a very, very shameful, commentary on the way our courts operate. It's a shame on our Supreme Court that has allowed this violating corporation to exist when they've flouted all the rules. Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board says that yes, they didn't follow any rules. There was no environmental impact assessment done. There was no NOC that was given. If you look at NEERI study that was done in 97, the first NEERI study said this plant is corrupt. It's violated everything. Next year and after that for several years, NEERI, which is a government, like an autonomous government body, got almost 1.25 crores to do further studies to look at environmental impact of this plant. And then same body that actually said that this is a bad plant, a polluting industry, has given this industry a clearance. So I would say that it's a shameful commentary on a state of our affairs. So fine, it is about police action that we need to really condemn, but it is also about how our judiciary behaves, how it guards the interest of our corporations and not of those thousands and thousands of people. By the way, we're only talking about 11 lives lost, but hundreds of lives that have been contaminated by this. Who speaks for them? Suddenly there's a violence and non-violence
we should talk about this.
in our country.
One second, we should talk about this. This is an important question, and I'm going to take this question to Henry. Henry, in the water, in the drinking water of the people of this place, we found copper, aluminum, lead, arsenic, and a couple of other compounds, and it has gone into all of the tank water, the groundwater, and allegedly also in the water of the sea. How many people depend on this water, and what kind of problems has it caused?
Well, you will find that the entire acreage of land, acres and acres of land, a few hundred acres of land around the Sterlite Sipcot area, you will find that complete farming has come to a halt. The villages adjacent to the plant have been vacated. People have left the village, left their houses there on rent to staff members of Sterlite. In the village adjoining Sterlite, you will find that you have all North Indians. I don't like dividing India into North and South India. I'm sorry. But the fact is that the people who belong to that village have said, do not want to drink this water. We have no agriculture here. We would better live by going into rented houses into Tuticorin, and have rented them to people from North India who are working on the plant. They cannot have drinking water there, and water is being supplied to them. This is the fact with all people around. You have people who are dying out of cancer, and there is actually a study being undertaken by the anti-Sterlite movement of the health assets being suffered by people there.
Well, Daraj Pujari, it all boils down again to the same thing. Consecutive governments of the DMK and the AIDMK have failed to keep the people safe. And now when the people have protested, they have shot at the people. Now, you've been looking at the visuals very intently, I can see. You're looking at people being, carried away by other protesters. There are no stretchers, there is no ambulance, there's no first aid. Some of these visuals are very disturbing, and we've actually chosen not to air a lot of the visuals that we have received today. But does this seem normal to you?
It is not at all normal. Police have got unaware of the situation. It is very true, and everybody has to accept that police has no grip of the situation, and that's why such aggravated action police had to resort to. Now, the police action, instead of getting police targeted, being a cop, I would say, will definitely inquire how police failed. But more important would be to ask why police failed. The political arguments and counter arguments for the sake of covering political mileage against each other, let them confess on this national channel that in state of Tamil Nadu, whether police is an equipment of law or police has made an equipment of politics. They play dirty politics in police also. Competent officers are not at competent place. Such SOPs have not been updated. There are so many issues which is to be narrated, which is to be addressed through such kind of debate. Let the political governance take the responsibility. Finally, accountability is of theirs, because nowhere in the country police department is autonomous. They are working under Home Ministry, they are working under Chief Minister. These political factions in our country, and particularly in Tamil Nadu, in such a heinous crime been happening over there, must learn to take responsibility. Yes, we are responsible. Why we keep the issue lingering? No doubt the wrath of people is very natural. People are dying massively in cancer. What is this? People are bound to rebuke like this.
Vinubabu Bhupati, go ahead.
See, I'll tell you one thing. What happened today in India, in Tamil Nadu, is shameful. See, in the past, two things happened in the Tamil Nadu history. In 1976, farmers in Coimbatore were shot down by the police of then government, DMK government. In 1987, when a particular community people were protesting for reservation, then ADMK government openly shot and 21 people died in 1987. And now today, 11 people died because of the shooting. The government police officers in Tamil Nadu are nothing but stooges of the political leadership in Tamil Nadu. Without the orders of the Chief Minister, without the orders of the DGP, how come in the field the police officials will open fire? And indiscriminate firing, they should be brought to books. A judicial inquiry commission should be set up, and this district SP and the district collector and the DGP should be brought to books. How come, on what law? The Supreme Court has clearly laid down the rules and regulation. If they are trained, especially the police officials are trained to deal these kind of situations. They have the ammunition, they have the arms, they have Vajra vehicle, they have smoke guns, they have everything else, water guns, everything. Why did they use that? Who gave the authority to shoot them? These police officials in Tamil Nadu are political stooges, they are cowards, and they openly fired and killed 11 innocent lives. They doesn't have the courage to deal with these protesters. The protesters gave the early warning that today is the 100th day of the protest and they will come and protest before the collectorate. They have imposed 144 yesterday and they did not have enough police officials to deal with the protesters, and they completely failed. They did not have the intelligence, they did not have the manpower, they did not have any proper standard operating strategy. Instead, they shot in mufti. I am telling this, I can show the videos, I can show the photographs. They shot in the chest, they have been shot in the neck, they have been shot in the mouth and the head. If they are brought to, they are very clear, dastardly killing.
Right. Okay.
broad
Okay. We have
daylight
Deepak on the
murder.
phone line from
These
Chennai.
police
We have
officers
Deepak
are
on the phone line from Chennai. Our phone lines are open right now. Deepak, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. See, I believe only Mirror now is covering this issue very seriously. Thank you for that. And as a citizen of Tamil Nadu, I don't want to say as a citizen of India. I want to say as a citizen of Tamil Nadu, I'm feeling so depressed, and I have gone to such a hatred where I'm hating the police officials. I'm hating the political leaders. I don't want to say them.
Why, Deepak?
They're leaders. See, these guys are dumb guys, and these guys don't have any common sense. For information, the minister, I don't want to say an honorable minister, his name is Mr. Jayakumar. He came to a press note and he's saying, so that, I mean, those areas has been, put to a condition called it's a trespassers. So why is these guys going for a protest there? So that protest should not have been done there. So this idiotic government should go off, and there should be a dismiss in the government for all the ministers right now. And this is
Sarvanan Anadurai of DMK, do you want to respond to that?
Yes. Yeah. See, the Faye, we agree that this company was allowed to continue through court orders, through environmental clearances got for the last 20 years, but now in the last 5-6 years, this protest has peaked, and due to the awareness, the environmental impact was found and pollution was found to be deadly, and we have said that this has to come to a full stop. But nothing can normalize or nothing can explain this violence, state-sponsored violence against those innocent people. Why are they doing that? Is this a signal? Are we living in a fascist place, fascist country? Is this a signal to all the other protesters? Because lot of protests, if you look at the records, Tamil Nadu is the one place where a lot of protests are going because of large-scale disaffection, large-scale complaints with the government, both state and central. I think they are sending a message to everybody. If you are protesting, this is what will happen to you tomorrow. Because this is not the first time this has happened. Earlier in Jallikattu issue, we have seen how the cops set fire to buses, police public properties and everything, and claimed that the violence was by the protesters. I have no doubt at all that a similar modus operandi has been carried out in Sterlite issue. Now, who is responsible for this? If you look at the police officer has clearly explained what are all the procedural safeguards they have to follow, and none of that has been followed. No tear gas, no shooting below the knees. All of them have been shot through the head, shot through their mouth. The gory pictures say it all. If they have any modicum of self-respect left in them.
Right. Let Henry respond to that, please. Henry is an advocate and the executive director of People's Watch who was at the protest today as an observer. Henry, is it true that the police didn't they didn't use tear gas first? They just went straight to shooting at the protesters? Is that true, or do you want to refute that?
Well, as I said in the beginning, as people were walking towards the collectorate, they were attempted to be lathi charged in several places. In none of those places which I witnessed was there any warning given. We found that throughout the journey, they were being lathi charged. But the people were determined to show their protests, and therefore they marched in large numbers. And in fact, I would estimate the crowd to be around 3 lakhs near the collectorate at that point of time when the police lathi charge took place. How do you lathi charge? How do you fire with arms in a crowd of lakhs of people without any prior warning? I was a witness to it. Our team was a witness to it. And why was permission not given? People of Tuticorin are peaceful. On the 24th of March, they showed how peaceful they can be. This was state negligence. This was state terrorism. The collector was not there. The collector was in Koilpatti today, supposed to be doing a Jamabandi. If the collector is proved not to have been in Tuticorin, he should be held responsible. The collector and the SP have to be immediately suspended for all that has taken place today. This is utter failure of police intelligence, both central and state police.
You know, this is something we have to acknowledge. So, Mr. Vanjari, the visuals that we're looking at are from earlier today. I want to tell our viewers very clearly that from earlier this morning. You can see. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to come to you in a second.
Can I please?
All right. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Saraswati, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. See what happened. ADMK supporter is telling that the factory has been closed and the people are not listening. That when we, on behalf of our AMMK, our Deputy General Secretary, Mr. T.T. Udayan MLA, we had a meeting in Thoothukudi last month. The people said, none of the people from government gave us any word. They never came and met us. Then the factory is going on. They are going to extend the factory also. So we don't want to believe this government. So we are not happy with this government. All these things came from the Thoothukudi people. What I'm telling is, definitely Mr. OPS and EPS must get on from the power. They failed to run this government. They must get on from the power. Without the knowledge of the Chief Minister and anybody, the police can never had a right to shoot on people without government's permission.
Why do you think
the people of the voice of the people of Thoothukudi said they don't want to believe this Tamil
why
Nadu
do you
government.
think? Why do you think this government has given this factory the permission to double its capacity when you know that it is a polluter? Why do you think that has happened?
See, it happened. I told you already. It is in the court. Our Honorable Hamma stopped it, giving permission through Pollution Control Board. It went to the court. It all happened. But what is now is like Jallikottu, we have come to a climax. What is the duty of the government? 100 days the people are sitting as a protest. Very quiet and calmly they were doing it. What is the state government's duty? Go and sit with the central government. See that, because people, what they told me, when we went there, they said to Mr. T.T. Udayan, we may have a job there, we may have a good salary there, but we don't want it because we are losing our life, our children's life. Our next generation also will get spoiled. No water to drink and pollution is anything like in Thoothukudi. So we don't want it. When the people voice is that, the government responsible is to go and listen to the people voice. This is not a political issue.
I just want to show. I want to show Mr. Vanjari something. Mr. Vanjari, there were visuals of stones, very large stones that we can see being used on the police. Yes. Now, here's my question. If 144 has been imposed in Thoothukudi over the last 24 hours, is that the police, how did so many people assemble in one place? How did they assemble armed with stones? Isn't that suspicious? And what is the police supposed to do in this situation when there are stones being thrown on the police? How are they meant to react?
It is not only suspicious, but complete failure on part of the intelligence of police and higher level leadership. Police higher level leadership is not awake in this state of Tamil Nadu, let me tell you. Now, with immediate effect, if there is an endangerment of human life or endangerment to the property or somebody's life, police has power to open the fire and control the situation. But for that also, they have to follow the standard operating procedure where they have to go step by step, issue some warning. And these kind of stones were collected and pelted on the police. This has not happened in an hour or two. This must have been planned. And if this was planned, then police failed there to collect the intelligence. Why this is happening since last 100 days, the agitation is going on. They should have been with know-how of hour to hour or daily know-how of the situation. They totally failed. Why police failed? Again I am telling why police failed, unless there is a political agenda, unless there is some politics issue, as you rightly said that the voting and elections are approaching, they have their dirty politics to pay, but police have to take a blame because they have no way to escape from the noose of the law and they have to face this situation in court of law tomorrow.
All right. Well, I can see Vimledu Jha wanted to respond to this. Vimledu Jha, very quickly. Vimledu, the problem is that government after government, both AIADMK and DMK governments allowed the plant to grow, allowed the plant to prosper, allowed the plant to pollute, and now everybody's turning around and blaming everybody else once the people have come out into the street because nobody has stood for the people of Tamil Nadu.
Correct. Absolutely, Faye. So that's where I think it's very, very important to look at that. Yes, there are 11 people who have been murdered by the state today. But the core issue, which is of pollution and ecological governance, that shouldn't be forgotten. The issue that we need to discuss is that is this plant illegal, because as per every document that we have at our disposal, this plant was illegal. It was conceived illegally, it was operated illegally, and now it will expand illegally. And we need to ask that question and talk about that, because it's fine, it's important to talk about these 11 people who have died, and which is important to talk about how the police shot and murdered them. But also, can we talk about how are these plants being operated in our country when they have a proven record? By the way, if you look at the similar cases against the same company is all around the world. They've been stopped from operation in many other parts of the world, and here we are actually allowing them to pollute our rivers.
Yes.
Every environmental law of our country has been violated by this country, and we go on and on because of our corporate larger national interest. I think we need to talk about that. Fine, police firing, yes, we need to condemn, we need to talk about it, talk about how injustice is done by the state, but larger injustice of failure of law and order, failure of rule of law and governance when it comes to richest of the rich. Because the same Vedanta has violated every mining norms.
Okay.
Also,
I just want to hang on. Mr. Muralidharan of AIDMK has come back into the conversation. Mr. Muralidharan, I have a very technical question for you, if you mind answering this for me. I understand from the people who were at the location, including Henry, who's with us, that the police were on top of the police van firing at the crowd. Would you, and now 11 people have died, would you name this murder, attempt to murder, manslaughter or assault? Under what of these sections of the IPC does this actually come, Mr. Muralidharan?
He also mentioned this happened inside the collector's office. Do you think any collector with all sanity would allow something like this, Faye? Collector is also a magistrate.
Mr. Muralidharan,
you can say what you like, sir, because you are at the court. When you have gone to the court, you should wait for the court to give a verdict. What was the reason for this protest? You are talking about 150 people. When you also set fire, also set fire to the people's houses who are working. The workers' houses you set on fire. How many people are there? There are only 150 people. Faye, there are 3,500 people working in the factory, but there are only 150 people in those houses. You are distorting facts.
So tell me something, Mr. Muralidharan. Murder, attempt to murder, manslaughter or assault, what would you call this?
Justifying the act of Vedanta by a political class is
One second, let me ask the question. Which was it?
And they have resorted to stone pelting.
Did the state police murder 11 people today?
Stone pelted. You all of you are
Is a rash and negligent act on behalf of police causing death of the people.
The plant was closed. Only 150 people are there.
People asking him
for maintenance.
The
plant.
I'll tell you what. You know, Mr. Muralidharan,
are you fighting for that
did the police in Tamil Nadu, on orders of the state government, murder 11 people today? Yes or no? It's a very straightforward question.
They did.
Not murder, Faye.
They did. It was a cold-blooded murder. It is a cold-blooded murder. Targeted murder.
Neta can give any order, but it is executed by the bureaucrats. It's IPS and IAS.
So did they not murder 11 people today?
That is what they have done.
This is appalling. This is
That is what they have
absolutely
done.
appalling. This, IPS, you are suspecting the Supreme Court, you are suspecting the IPS.
No. I'm suspecting the government of Tamil Nadu of playing politics with people's lives. That's what I'm suspecting.
Everyone has the right
Government
to
of
question
Tamil
the
Nadu
Supreme Court
did not
and the
have a
High Court.
direct say there because it was handled by the collector and an
And the
able
collector reports
superintendent
to
of
whom?
police.
The
There are
collector
two
reports
people
to
who
whom?
are running the show there. Why would they kill people? What is this?
I don't know. I'm asking you the same question because we know people have died. So we're both asking why. Why would they kill people? Why?
Yes. People have died. People have died because they tried to attack the magistrate who's also
And
the collector.
is that how law functions in our country? That if you try to attack a building, you will be shot at? What country do we live in?
Justification.
What IPC are you running in Tamil Nadu?
When 1,000
know
people
that
attack
whether
a
any policeman
collector,
died.
they have to resort to that.
Okay, so tell me something, Mr. Muralidharan, you're obviously running a different IPC in Tamil Nadu. Have any of the police officers or the police constables been injured
Look at the
today?
gory images, Faye. Look at the gory images. Look at what's happening.
No, Mr. Sabra, please put those images away. They are not suitable for telecast. No, Mr. Sarvanan, please put those images away. They are not suitable for telecast, and that's the reason why I'm not running them on the channel. I know there are gory images. I've seen them.
Faye, for what? Past one year, they tried to topple the government.
No,
Now
nobody
they're
tried to
resorting
topple
all
the
kind of
government. This is
cheap
just
tactics,
cheap
and they are
politics that
all
you're
segment
playing.
of
Your government shot at and killed 11 people.
No, this is not cheap politics. They have instigated people to this.
Shot at and killed 11 people.
Jallikattu protest. How did Jallikattu protest happen? Did you see any vandalism? Did you see hooliganism?
And I want to remind you
ask all
that
these
this is the
questions
same Chennai, this is the same Tamil Nadu police during the funeral of the former and late Chief Minister Jayalalitha maintained pin drop silence in an entire city. They managed that entire city with zero problems.
Exactly. That doesn't give
So obviously they are in the position to manage the peace. What went wrong today?
Why you are allies? You are shameless to say this. You are shameless to say this. Why you came with us? Why you came with us?
She was a convict number one.
These are politicians fighting after people have died. These are okay. All right, I've run out of time. I just want to point out a couple of the facts here. Here is a factory that has had problems with violation of various rules since 1994 under various state governments. It has been pulled up in various courts, and finally, when they announced they're going to now take the capacity even bigger from 2 lakh tons to 4 lakh tons, the people of Tuticorin came out onto the street and said enough is enough. The air is polluted, the water is polluted, we don't want this anymore. They protested for 100 days. 100 days. They announced a massive protest today. As the 100th day of the protest, they said today we're going to march to the collector's office. The police knew. As per our police expert, all the police had to do was to close the roads beforehand and make sure no new people arrive in Tuticorin. If there was section 144 that was already in place, it is very easy for the intelligence of the police to find out where the people are coming from, whether or not they have sticks or stones, and make sure that they don't hurt anybody. None of that was done. Under no circumstances is the police to shoot at citizens without first giving them a warning, without first using a lathi charge, without first using tear gas. 11 citizens have died today and 60 have been injured. And we are told by eyewitnesses that they have been shot from the waist up when they are supposed to. The police is supposed to shoot from the waist down so as to minimize any sort of casualty or death. People have been shot in the face. Something went horribly wrong in Tamil Nadu. And there has to be a very, very serious inquiry, perhaps by the central government, to find out what went wrong and who commanded this police to shoot at their own citizens. The police in Tamil Nadu have a track record for being able to maintain the peace. They are a tough police force. Something went wrong today, and we need to know who gave that order. Because we don't live in a country where stone throwing results in police shooting people in the head. That is not the country we live in. There is a protocol in place. And that protocol ought to be followed. Unless in Tamil Nadu, the state government has decided that it is running a whole separate law and order system. We're going to keep an eye on this story every day to find out who was responsible for those 11 deaths and those 60 people who are now injured. Thanks for watching.